Hello, welcome to another tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy, and this is a re-presentation of a painting I put up live back in December. It had a actually good title, which I think I forgot about. Oh yeah, Trail at Dusk. Nice title, better title than I ended up with, which was Evening Road. But Evening Road's what's written on the back of the painting, and Evening Road is now the title. And I'm doing this video just for one is as I've removed a bunch of live videos. I'm going to be putting this painting in my store, and I like to have a little video there in the store so people that are perusing paintings and of mine and thinking of purchasing them can see how they were created. And you could see it was pretty hot. Don't have my beret on back there in December, and yeah, this was when I was back at the antique shop as well, which was a nice experience. I'm glad to be back at the quarry, master of my own domain, and all that. I'm gonna get in a few tips and stuff here. This is one where you see I'm sharing the reference. This is some random reference I got off the internet. Hopefully it won't bite me on the rear end at some point. I did do some pretty extensive recolorization and recomping. And the other thing is you might go, well, why are you just putting this in your store now? This painting is 10 months old, you know. Well, this is the deal. I kept thinking there was something else I could do to this painting that would improve it. But I ended up being incorrect. Because I couldn't think of anything. I kept thinking, well, maybe if I knock those things in the back a little further back, or I just knew that it had a freshness to it and an immediacy, and you can't beat that. Now we'll be zooming in a little closer in a minute. You can see you're getting a pretty good view of me painting here, and I think I had the camera further back in the antique shop, so. Yeah, you get kind of a whole view of me in my environment there, and it was a pretty good spot to work. I have any complaints. My main reason for moving was just so I could put my work in front of more people at the quarry. I think since it's an art center, it's just a greater chance of making some sales there, and the paintings they stack up. So if you like this painting, tip on over and buy it. I'm gonna have a super fair price on it. I'm not sure what that is yet, but I have a little chart that I consult, and I'll be putting that up, today or tomorrow probably. So yeah, one of the things I tend to do is to put off photography of my paintings and etc. But anyway, you can see we've done the drawing thing, and that's a nice drawing. And one of the things I was trying to do back there in December was just scale up. And I'm always working with that. I'm always trying to scale up. You can see I'm working on my textured board. I have since sort of bailed on the textured boards. There's a couple reasons. One, they really are a great aid in painting, I think, because they can help you resolve a lot of your when you want to talk about edges. I mean, a texture board gives you like instant edges, but I feel pretty comfortable these days in just installing my own edges. So what it means is a change in my painting technique, and that's not a bad thing. If you haven't played with textured board, I have a video on the channel about board texturizing. I'd recommend you watch that, because what you want to watch out for with board texturizing is too uniform of a application. So if you have a really uniform texture, that looks pretty bad. The other thing is it took me many attempts to develop a texture that was random enough. So it's not just the uniformity, it's also that you don't want to have extreme amounts of texture that are horizontal or extreme amount of texture that are vertical. But let's say you're painting a vertical tree through a horizontal band of texture. It just doesn't look good. And I did arrive at a texturizing process that obviated any of those issues, but it is very labor intensive, and so much so that I have just kind of not bothered. I like. I thought I was going to sneeze there. I like working on the smooth masonite these days, and AKA hardboard if you're not in the U.S. We didn't sneeze, but we had a sniffle. Sorry about that. But I do miss the texture, and I'm not saying I won't get back into it. Also, I'm working on a bit lighter. I like the color of the masonite as well. Many people have been falsely thinking I'm just painting on raw board because I am prepping the masonite with transparent gesso. But just a heads up, they're not raw boards. You don't want to paint on raw wood. Because what will happen is over time your oil paint will become absorbed into the wood and your painting will just gradually disappear. Yeah. So you need to have some kind of buffer there. In the old days they would use, gesso, which is chalk, and rabbit's glue and a bunch of other bits and bobs to coat the surface of the canvas or panel prior to painting. Recently, I get emails from Natural Pigments, and they're always trying to sell me stuff. I have bought pigments from them. It's kind of a drag to buy things from them in New Zealand because they have a very, very high shipping structure. So they're missing out on sales here for that. But they were sending me, and I'd love to play with it one day, how you can paint on copper. And it does seem to me to be maybe one of the most ideal surfaces. They have a specially prepped board that's got, a polystyrene center and then a coating of copper on top. And nothing's going to be absorbed into that. But you would think that maybe the paint just going to kind of sit. Maybe it would scrape off easily. I don't know. Seems that almost any substrate you use is going to have issues and things you need to be aware of. But I was deep into textured board territory back in December, and like I said, I'm pretty much out of that now. But we may go back. We may go back. Yeah, I do miss it. And when I decided recently I was going to paint on MDF anymore, I got rid of quite a few textured boards, which have maybe an investment of 40 minutes in them. So when you consider like some paintings might take you an hour and a half, that's a pretty significant time investment. But trust me, it's worth it though. If you do something on texture and you're walking down the hall and you see that light hitting that texture, and it's running in a way that's strongly counter to the composition on the painting surface, you got trouble. Yeah, you don't want to do it. Another thing maybe I want to talk about on this painting was, it's definitely a limited palette, and it's a purple yellow, but unlike the last purple yellow I put on, it's a muted purple and a muted yellow. That last one I put up, the vertical, is pretty bright yellow, and pretty bright yellows and oranges, and the purples are very bright and chromatic, highly chromatic reddish purples. I'm quite happy with that painting now. It took me a little while to get used to it. But yeah, some of the things I was thinking of doing on this was, a little more like in the dark areas. But, that there's a quick tip for you, and I brought this up probably on almost every video, is knowing when to stop is the real difference between a professional and an amateur. One of the many differences, but perhaps the most important difference, because there's an idea, like so many things in life, if you just keep applying yourself and working harder, things may get better. But painting isn't like that. Painting, if you paint something that's too overworked, too overwrought, it's very stiff, and it's actually uncomfortable for people to look at, and you yourself will probably be immune to realizing this because you are the creator of the painting, and therefore it's kind of like ugly baby syndrome. If you're a parent and you have a very ugly child, you don't see the child as ugly, and very similar as well that your friends are not going to tell you that your baby is ugly either. No one's going to tell you. What will happen is one day, if you just keep painting, hopefully you just keep painting, you'll look at it and go, well, really messed that one up. Yeah, I thought it was good too. That's not a great feeling, but it is in a sense it maybe is a good feeling because um, it's not good to maybe realize something you thought was good is not. On the other hand, you've advanced, you've matured, and you've evolved to the point where you can see the problems and issues and weak parts of your old work, which is pretty valuable. Anyway, I'm really happy with this painting. As you can see, it's been at the this video that I've sped up today for. I've had a still of this at the end of all my videos for the last, I don't know, 6-7 months. So I think it encapsulates a time and definitely a period where I was sharing almost everything I did live on the channel. And I'll be popping out a few live ones for the non-members here and there. I want to get settled in though with the members and take good care of them because they're taking good care of me. They're helping to support me in my art. And yes, it's only $6 a month, but it means a lot to me. It's we all hesitate to take on an extra bill. I realize that. Anyway, thank you for joining me today, and hopefully you enjoyed this presentation, this video. I'll be back real soon with another video for you, and meanwhile, please do me a favor, do me a solid, take good care of yourself, try to love other people and be patient with them, and stay out of trouble.